Some people, with genuine affection, just can't help themselves. In a normal conversation, they'll suddenly volunteer. Did you know that a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus? It wasn't answering any question. It barely fit the topic. It just appeared, like something sitting in their brain since they were 11, waiting for its moment. You can't remember where you put your phone. But this random fact, it's immortal, undying. Taking up prime real estate in your head, that's the first thing worth sitting with. The selectivity of it. The random facts we remember aren't actually random at all. It has little to do with traditional memory. Here's what school never taught us. Your brain is not a filing cabinet. It's not a hard drive. It doesn't store information based on importance or usefulness. It stores things based on one simple rule: how much your nervous system cared in the moment you first encountered them. Emotional charge and curiosity, that's essentially the entire algorithm. When you were 9 and read that octopuses have 3 hearts, something lit up inside you. A little weight. What? Your hippocampus tagged it. Novelty. Surprise. A gentle violation of how you thought the world worked. The brain has this ancient circuit that flags anything that breaks its predictions, even in low-stakes, zero-consequence situations. It pays attention, because in evolutionary terms, the unexpected is what mattered most. You didn't memorize that fact. You found it delightful, and delight, it turns out, is more than enough. In 2014, researchers at UC Davis published a fascinating study. They found that when people were in a state of high curiosity, they didn't just remember the information they were curious about better. They also showed significantly improved memory for completely unrelated things they encountered at the same time. Random faces of strangers shown between questions, for example, stuck in their minds far more clearly. It's as if curiosity opens a wider aperture on the world, and everything that passes through gets a better chance of staying. This is why people who collect strange facts start to look less like they have a quirky memory glitch, and more like they have a fundamentally different relationship with their own attention. Think about the last time you felt truly curious, not polite interest, that actual, slightly uncomfortable pull towards something. The feeling of a question forming in your mind that you didn't even intend to ask. For some people, this happens almost constantly. An unfamiliar word, a headline that doesn't add up, an offhand statistic that feels wrong. Their curiosity is reflexive, almost involuntary, and because the curiosity is automatic, the memory that follows it is too. They're not trying to retain information, they're just perpetually mid-question about the world, and the answers keep piling up. There's a well-documented personality trait called openness to experience. People who score high on it find novelty genuinely rewarding rather than exhausting. That's not a small difference. The person who happily falls down a Wikipedia rabbit hole at 2 a.m. is experiencing something neurologically distinct from the person who finds it draining. The dopamine hit from learning something unexpected is real and measurable. It's not just a cute metaphor, but here's the part most people don't consciously notice about themselves. The facts you remember aren't truly random. If you look back at your personal collection of useless trivia, you'll start to see a pattern. Most of it clusters around moments that once made you feel something: wonder, absurdity, mild existential unease, or that specific sensation of the world suddenly feeling much larger than you thought it was. Like the fact that Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the building of the Great Pyramid, or that there are more possible ways to shuffle a deck of cards than there are atoms on Earth, or that the smell of rain has a beautiful name. Petrichor, coined in the 1960s by 2 scientists who translated it as the blood of stones. These aren't useless facts. They're the residue of moments when reality briefly exceeded your expectations. Little cracks in the ordinary where the world showed you something deeper and stranger underneath. And people who collect them, whether they realize it or not, are often quietly oriented toward that feeling. The feeling of scale, of intricacy, of a world far weirder and more beautiful than it appears on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon. We live in a culture that treats the mind like a computer that needs optimizing every piece of information judged as either useful or worthless. But your brain was never a hard drive. Trying to force it to behave like one usually just leaves us feeling drained and empty. These odd little facts are like beautiful stones we pick up on a walk and slip into our pockets. for no practical reason, simply because they caught the light. They remind us that we are not processing units by nature. They are proof that you are still looking. There's also a social layer worth mentioning. For some people, these facts stay internal. A quiet, low-grade sense of being in on a secret. For others, sharing them is half the joy. And that's not shallow. Sharing a strange, true thing about the world is actually a form of intimacy. It's an invitation. Come look at this with me. Come find this as fascinating as I do. The people who do this most compulsively are often the ones who, as children, got genuinely excited about something and were told in one way or another, "That's enough. You're being too much." Nobody needs to know that. Yet they kept doing it anyway, because pretending the world wasn't this fascinating never felt like an option. So if you're the person at the dinner table who just casually mentioned that a shrimp's heart is in its head, this is for you. You're not malfunctioning. You're not failing to prioritize important information. You're not wasting mental bandwidth. You simply have a brain that takes the question, what even is this world? Seriously, somewhat against your will, on a fairly continuous basis. And it quietly files the answers away somewhere permanent. There are far worse ways to move through life than staying genuinely curious about it. In fact, that might be the whole point of having a mind at all. A small reminder, and I only ever mention things I actually use myself. There's a link in the description to a bundle I think many of you will genuinely find helpful. It's a collection of 7-day guides and planners designed around the exact things a lot of curious minds struggle with. Clearing mental backlog, rebalancing dopamine so your brain stops craving constant noise, actually fixing your sleep, and rebuilding focus one small action at a time. Each guide gives you one specific daily step. No fluff, just practical tools. It's also in the pinned comment, so I hope you check it out. And if you enjoy these kinds of reflections, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. See you in the next one, where we'll keep exploring this weird, wonderful, endlessly fascinating world together.